Hey guys, Chimerise here with another review. This time I'll be reviewing the WAP 08 Kamen Rider Beast and BeastChimera from Kamen Rider Wizard. This is the 8th entry in the Wizard Action Police series, and is Kamen Rider Beast in figure form, along with his Gimmick and his Phantom, the BeastChimera. So this set includes several things: Kamen Rider Beast, the Dice Saber, his 4 mantles, and the BeastChimera body. So to start, let's take a look at Kamen Rider Beast and his Dice Saber. Here we have Kamen Rider Beast, who, as you can see right off the bat, is a great looking figure. Even though the base color is the standard glossy black plastic that Bandai is known for, a lot of this detail and all of the gold here is this nice and just gorgeous metallic gold paint. From the head to the armor to the belt and the wizard ring holder, it's all painted gold and no gold plastic. Taking a look at the details, starting with the head, you can see that from the front it does look like a lion's head, with the mane around it, the nice metallic green eyes, the forehead gem, the nose, the mouth with little whiskers and some fangs there. Then if you look at it from the side, you can see that just like with the Kamen Rider Wizard's head, they designed it to look like a ring, with the main part wrapping around and then having this empty black spot on top. Taking a look at the body, you can see that there is some asymmetry here that does work out pretty well. For the left shoulder, you've got this lion-shaped shoulder pad, with a nice design to it and some nice details. You can also see that the lion's mane continues into the body, where it flows up until here where it stops. You can see that this is a very cleverly done thing, because if you look carefully you'll see that the chest plate is for the most part nearly symmetrical. It's got this basically line of symmetry down here, and these two pieces here and here are absolutely symmetrical, with these parts on the outside having the same basic outline. But what you'll notice is that these have a slight raise, so that it actually comes to a point, whereas these ones are smooth. It's a very cleverly done design. It is continued on the back, at least a little bit. Then you have the other shoulder pad, which is kind of blank and just has these like little feathery tassels hanging down. And that's because that's the arm that is mainly used for the Gimmick. You've got the gauntlets, or the forearm guards, and the wrist cuffs. And said wrist cuffs have a design of his 4 animals rotating around it. You've got the left hand with a molded on beast wizard ring. Then the right hand has a generic beast ring. You got the beast driver, which has again a lot of incredibly well done molding details. You can see the 4 animals on the outer parts. Then the lion face in the center with all the right lines. You got the eyes, nose, mouth, and even the forehead gem. Even got little symbols molded into the 2 ring slots. And they properly molded his wooden ring holder with the rings being in his shape, and a little beast symbol at the top. And though there isn't any paint for the belt straps, they did get all the right details. The rest of the back is pretty much blank. Then you have the shin guards and anklets. Anklets have the same design as the wrist cuffs. And the shin guards are basically like the forearm guards. For articulation, you got a ball joint head. Arms rotate 360 degrees, and as you can see on them, it doesn't really look like they could move very much. But if you try to move the arm up, you'll actually notice that the shoulder pad pops up a little bit, and that's because it's actually on a little rail. that allows it to move up at least this far. And while that's not too much, and it doesn't allow him to get a full 90-degree bend, it definitely does help with the articulation. Got a bicep swivel, single joint elbows, rotating wrists, 2 finger joints, waist swivel, legs go forward and back, in and out, single jointed knees, thigh rotation, and ball joint ankles. Making sure it doesn't fall over. Next I'll look at the dice saber rather, which is very well done. Once again, it is cast in black plastic, but you've got a lot of nice molding detail. See the design on the back, the beast symbol right here, the dice in there, which is set at 2. Then the ring slot here, with the lion's mouth wrapping around it, painted in nice metallic gold, with the blade being metallic silver. And it's all nice flexible plastic, so that you don't have to worry about it snapping and breaking. And Beast can hold on to it quite well, since it has a rather rounded handle. It works well with the style of hands and the kind of joints that are in the figures. So with the right grip, he can hold on to it well and not have to worry about it falling out. With that said, let's take a look at his gimmick, which are the mantles. Here we have the 4, the Falco Mantle, Chameleo Mantle, Buffum Mantle, and DODODODO-DOLPHI Mantle. Starting off with the Falco Mantle, designed after a falcon. These are all cast in metallic gold plastic, which has a nice shine to it. And then for Falco, it's got metallic gold paint. You can see that they left the eyes and the beak, or rather, instead of leaving it as the color of plastic, you can see that the shoulder pads are actually white plastic, so all of the stuff up here and on here is painted. So even though this is gold plastic, you've got metallic paint for the eyes and beak. So the design on the mantle itself, and a feathery design on the inside. This has a joint. We can fold out like that, and fold back in. Next is Chameleo, designed after a chameleon. So this one is one where it's designed to fully cover the arm. You got the chameleon's head with the 3 horns, the eyes and tongue, both done in metallic gold paint, with the rest being a metallic green paint. On the inside you have the gold plastic and the white for the top. With this one there's actually a bit of a rotation joint, which is for the sake of a different gimmick. Buffa is similar to Chameleo in that it's designed to wrap around the arm instead of going to one side or the other. So you can see that, yeah, basically even though it's called Buffa and it's supposed to be based on a buffalo, it's really just more of a generic bull, with the curving horns and nose ring and being red and all. And then you've got the design here with a nice metallic red paint, though it's a more subdued metallic red that doesn't have too much of a shine. As well as the design here, which is basically like a horseshoe, or in this case like a bull shoe. Basically a hoof. And the other two also have designs of feathers and a tail. Then finally you have Dolphi, designed after a dolphin. This one has a metallic purple paint, and it's a nice bluish purple, so it's, not too strong. We got the eyes, the fins, the mouth. And once again, for the eyes and mouth, they use metallic gold paint. Now, while you will see that there are feathers here on the inside of the Dolphi Mantle, this is one where it's actually supposed to be seen from this angle normally. And you can see the design here, which is some waves. And similar to Falco, this one also has a joint that goes out. So, with those shown, let's take a look at what they do when equipped. So to equip the mantle, what you want to do is take off the right shoulder pad, just like so. Take the mantle, line up these two clips with the two pegs sticking out on the side, and just plug it on. Which is a little tricky, but once you get lined up correctly, it should go on like so. And there you have Beast with the Falco Mantle. And so here we kind of see the aesthetic that they were going for. Since they all attach to the right shoulder, they gave the left shoulder to the lion to give Beast a Chimera look. At the same time, he also has a kind of basically a cape on here, which goes along with his circus tamer kind of motif. Whereas, Wizard is a circus magician, Beast is a circus tamer. And so with this, once again, it's got that joint that allows you to move the arm up a little bit, but you can also swing this back a little, which can give you more articulation, but it's technically not supposed to do that. That being said, it definitely does help with allowing you to move the forearm. It doesn't break the look, since it still is attached to the shoulder. Next, we'll pop off Falco and attach Chameleo. And again, these are just a little bit tricky simply because you have to line up the pegs, and it's a little bit slippery just because of how rounded the shoulder is. But there you have him with the Chameleo Mantle. This one gives you a little bit more freedom, since the mantle goes up this far, so that allows you to move the arm around a little bit more. And because of that ball joint in there, you can also have it moved so that it's more on the front or more on the back. And gives him another unique look. Next, we'll take off Chameleo and put on the Buffum Mantle. There you have Beast with the Buffum Mantle. You can definitely see that this is the one that has the most coverage, as this is definitely the biggest one, which makes sense as the buffa, the buffalo or bull, is the largest of these animals and basically the beefiest. And this also gives him kind of a matador look, which is definitely fitting if you look at this as being a bull rather than a buffalo. And once again, because of that sliding joint, it does let you move the forearm more and get some articulation out of it, when you would think that it wouldn't have any. And last but not least, remove Buffa and attach Dolphi. There you have Beast with the Dolphi Mantle. And here's what kind of illustrated the point that I made, where with this, you don't see the feathers on the back. Instead, you just see the front of it. And this is especially where this joint comes in handy the most, because if it weren't for this joint, you basically wouldn't be able to move the forearm out. And so with that, you can actually do so and allow him to hold the dice saber in this hand, or just get more posability out of this arm while equipped with this mantle. And with that being said, we can now summon the BeastChimera.
Chimerise! Go!
So here we have the base body and the mantles. So what we need to do now is actually put them on to create the proper BeastChimera. Starting with Falco, this is where you're going to want to use this joint by moving out until you kind of feel it rest in place. Then clip it onto this shoulder pad here, or this kind of shoulder clip, and rotate it down. Then for Chameleo, going to rotate this and fold it back. Then use this clip and attach it to the stock of the ball joint. For Buffa, fold the cape in, attach it to the chest. And finally for Dolphi, fold out the cape just like with Falco. Plug it in on top, and rotate down. And there you have the completed BeastChimera. While I definitely do appreciate the look and how they made it so that the mantles that you used to equip the beast also make the BeastChimera, the downside is that he's out of scale. He's very much shrunken down. Which means that though Beast can ride on him, it looks more like he's riding on a kind of smallish lion than an actual chimera. And he does just look very silly on it. I mean, it seems like the chimera was just an afterthought, especially when you look and see that for the body, only this center part is painted. The actual arms and legs are actually detached in the box and you have to assemble it yourself, but said arms and legs don't have any paint whatsoever. The other thing is that, as I didn't show it in the start of the review, the Chimerise ring isn't actually included with this set. And I think it definitely would have been better if they had released a larger deluxe BeastChimera and had that include the Chimerise ring. But for what it's worth, it does look pretty good. Overall, while this is a great set, in my opinion, it should have just been Beast and the Mantles. The way it is, the figure itself and the way the mantles attach to it works really well. The figure has some amazing details, great paint on it, and the weapon works well because it has just the right amount of detail and paint and can be held well. And for the mantles, because of the way they designed them, they pop off and pop on, and with that sliding joint it allows you to equip them and still give that arm some articulation. And actually does give a little bonus feature, which I'll show after the video. As for the BeastChimera, it really feels like an afterthought. With how only one part of it is painted, you have to attach the mantles yourself, and in doing so, you deprive Beast of equipping them to Beast. Plus, even though we can ride it, they gave it this unnecessary handle which he can't even properly grip, because with the way his arms work, he has to bend his arm and then he can't bend his hand to properly grip that handle. I mean, the way I would have done it would have been to basically release the set as it is, just without the Chimera body, and then release a deluxe BeastChimera that, instead of having any of that other stuff, instead of having the equivalent mantles, had something like Lights and Sounds and the Chimerise Wizard Ring. So this is the kind of thing where I definitely would recommend this over the SHF version, because the mantles for that were a separate set and web shop exclusive, so more expensive. But this definitely could have been better if it was two sets or two separate items instead of one. And next time we'll be looking at Kamen Rider Beast Hyper. So thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, comment, or share. You can check me out on Facebook at facebook.com/KRX50, as well as my channel for more videos. And for now, this is KRX50, writing off.